Yo, what's up people? Welcome to another ranking video. Today we're going to be ranking the 5 albums of System of a Down. Yep, this is a very small discography to be discussing today, but it is a band that has had a great impact over the years, and I'll be honest, this catalogue of music is very strong, so when I am pitting one of these 5 albums above or below another, it doesn't necessarily mean that I hate the albums that sit at the bottom of this list. This ranking video is purely based on my own subjective opinion, so put your own opinions of the System of a Down albums in the comments if you fancy. Just keep the discussion civil if your opinion differs from mine or someone else's. I'm going to be ranking in order from my least favourite first, going all the way up to my most favourite, starting with, unfortunately, Hypnotize has to land at the bottom for me. Their final album, as I previously stated, I do not dislike this album. I think it is still a strong studio album by the band, but it did unfortunately rank at the bottom. But let's talk about what I did like about it. The opening track, called Attack, is fast and just unrelenting in aggression. It sets the pace well for this album overall, with some serious speed and energy to it. Stealing Society is another track that has just as much energy and aggression to it, which keeps the pace of the album going. I loved the epic vocal leads in the song Dreaming. Kill Rock and Roll is fast and heavy, and yet also quirky. Memorable hooks in that song as well. That one is probably the standout track on this album. We see more groove than intensity in the title track of this album, Hypnotize. Tentative has some cool chuggy riffage and catchy anthemic vocal leads as well. I really liked that one. There's cool, powerful, triumphant guitar leads in U-Fig, like they sort of swing. There's also really fun vocal takes throughout that track as well that I enjoy. I love the doom-laden vibe in the track Holy Mountains. And then the song Vicinity or Obscenity, also known as the Terracotta Pie song, is such a light-hearted and fun, catchy sounding song. The track She's Like Heroin is silly and fun, with melodies that sound so tension-filled in there. And then Lonely Day is a truly emotive power ballad. It is a popular song by the band for good reason. And then ending off this album with the full track of Soldier Side calls back to the album that came before this one, which was Mezmerize. But I enjoy that it calls back to the side A of the two-side album that this belongs to, with, like I say, Soldier Side being the finale of it, which I appreciated that touch. And it does end up capping off this album quite well, that song. This album overall has some great songs. It really does when I say this, but I feel like it's slightly more inconsistent in quality than the albums that we'll talk about next, and I think that this album goes for a more straightforward metal rock and roll direction than other albums they've done. They go for more quirky, more ambitious musical ventures in previous album of theirs, whereas this one goes for more of the hits and maybe loses a bit of its charm along the way. But again, that's just my opinion on it. If you love this album, all power to you. I still enjoyed the shit out of it, but unfortunately, one album has to come last, and unfortunately for me, it had to be this one. Right, coming at the 4th spot on the list, we have Steal This Album. Now, I've heard conflicting reports on this, but I've heard from some sources that this was a B-side album full of cut tracks from Toxicity, but I may be wrong on that fact. I'm not sure. But regardless of that, it ranked 4th and not 5th because there are quite a few standout tracks on here, and there aren't any songs that I would skip when I listen to it necessarily. But this album kicks off so fucking strong with Chicken Stew. Killer off-kilter thrashy riffs in there. And such fun lyrics as well. Obviously you don't need to be told that if you know the song. Inner Vision is such an awesome track with really cool descending melodies. Love the vocals in that one too. As for Bubbles, such a fun thrashy banger. As for the song Boom, it's intense, but the spoken word in that track takes me out of the experience a tiny bit, for me at least. Nuggins has some really awesome string flourishes in there. I also love the creative riffs in the song ADD, also known as American Dream Denial. Great vocal runs in that song. Love the chorus in that song. The song Mr. Jack builds really awesome atmosphere as well. As for the song AIEIO, which I think is everyone's favourite on this album, and it's not hard to see why, It's such a fun, catchy, rocking tune. It's such an earworm to listen to. The biting riffs and leads in the song Pictures are so cool, and I love the super wacky vocals in that track as well. I really love the anthemic sounding vocals in Highway Song as well. The song Fuck the System is such a heavy headbanger, as it fucking well should be with a title like that. Speaking of heavy, Theta Waves has all sorts of heaviness in there that I love. Ego Brain has more of that groove leaning side with cool swinging melodies to it. Roulette offers a nice softer acoustic moment for the album as well that I enjoyed. And I just absolutely love the guitar leads in the song Streamline. There's quite a few awesome moments captured on this album overall, and considering it is an album comprised of cut tracks from a previous working, it's impressive how many hits happen to be on here despite that fact. It kind of really blew me away going through it. I think I've always slept on this album when considering all of the Sode records. This is always one that I have skipped, and that's been rectified. I really had a fun with this one. Their self-titled debut album lands dead in the middle of this list. This album is, I think, the heaviest of their catalogue, due in part to the more crunchier production and the more intense riffs and vocals that play on here. With that in mind, the opening riff in Sweetie Pea is so cool, so catchy, so memorable. The intensity and fun rhythms in the song No are just awesome as well. Cool quirky riffage in the song Sugar. It is a popular song on this album, and it's not hard to see why in the slightest. The grooviness to it as well was really, really fun. I really enjoy the mix of acoustic strings included in the song Suggestions. Spiders is a slower, more drudged up groove. The song The Devil is a nice, fast, quick banger, less than 2 minutes. It gets in, it gets out, does what it needs to do, and I really appreciate the song for that. Same applies for the song Cuba as well. It's a quick, fast banger, gets straight to the point. Soil has such memorable guitar melodies as well. Great track. Such cool thrashy moments in the song War as well. Fun atmosphere. There's fun atmosphere. Fuck, I can't say that word. There's fun atmosphere mixed in with that track as well that I really enjoy. Same applies for the song Darts. The rhythm that Peephole goes for is so fun and bouncy. The mix on this album makes the guitars sound so dense, especially on a groovier, longer track like Mind. And then Pluck sends out the record strong with really good energy as well. And I think that's what the main appeal of this album is. Energy, aggression. I think that it nails everything that it's trying to go for, and I can only respect it for that. If you have a hankering to listening to only the heavier side of System of a Down with still some of the quirky fun elements mixed in, then their self-titled is by no means a bad pick to go for. But now we have the second and first place to go for. Now, if you've been paying attention, we only have two left and we know what those are. I pained over which one comes at number one because I love these two albums so damn much, and I kind of shocked myself with this placement. But at number two we have Toxicity. I did not expect this to land at number two. I thought for sure this would be my number one going into this, but the number one spot surprised me of how much I enjoyed it. But let's go through Toxicity first. So, like I say, this is a subjective opinion. You can rate these albums in any which way, but I know that there is a bias towards Toxicity being the fan favourite album from Sode, and I thought it was my favourite Sode album too for the longest time. But I'm shocked with the fact that it landed at number two. But let's go through this one before we get into the one that dethroned this. Prison Song is such a memorable opening track with fun rhythms and vocal styles. Some brilliant energy in Needles from the drums to the riffs. Great tension building throughout that track. And atmosphere too. Brilliant stuff. Dear Dance has awesome stomping riffs. Great intense vocals in the song Jet Pilot. I love the frantic guitar shredding in the song X as well. Chop Suey is anthemic and nostalgic. Yes, it's overplayed, but it is still an excellent song. Bounce is such a fun, catchy banger, short but sweet. There's cool, wacky sounding riffage in Forest with its epic, anthemic lead vocals. Same applies for the song Psycho, which has a brilliant chorus. Atwa has nice, subtle, somber, mellow guitar work that are then interrupted periodically by some bombastic musical outbursts, shall I say. Awesome, frantic, chaotic riffs in Science. And I love that about halfway through that song we get the implementation of Eastern melodies as well. Shimmy is a quick thrashy ripper. The title track is just a classic song, energetic, with creepy melodies and an awesome chorus. And then Aerials. Such an atmospheric, slow and creepy song. This album overall is iconic and nostalgic. So many lasting hits that are mainstays, not just in the band's catalogue, but in its respective genre. What genre System of a Down sits in is anyone's guess, but iconic is a good word for this album, and I really thought it would land at #1. But binging their catalogue from their self-titled to Hypnotize, again, in order, but this one, Mezmerize, kind of came out of nowhere. But thinking about it more now, I kind of really love that this is my favourite. All of my favourite System of a Down songs are on this one, and all of the first System of a Down tracks that I would hear are on this one too. There isn't a weak track on this thing. Every single song on here is perfect. The nostalgia I have towards pretty much all the songs on here is crazy. BYOB, Cigarro, Radio Video, Sad Statue, Violent Pornography, Old School Hollywood, like, there's so many bangers on here. I don't know. And it kind of shocked me how many of those epic tracks that I remember so fondly are on here. It kind of blew my mind when I was thinking, wait, these are all on here? But anyway, my gushing is over. Now time to actually talk about it. The Soldier Side intro is a nice, mellow interlude that brings us slowly into the album's experience. BYOB is iconic and a classic for good reason, with fast, energetic vocals and riffs and drums and such a groovy chorus. Revenga is packed with triumphant melodies that I just absolutely love. Cool riffs and catchy chorus, and such a sick breakdown in that song too. Cigarro is such a fun, catchy, fast tune with funny lyrics and heavy guitar chugging. What's more to love? And to be honest, I can see a little bit of that Mr. Bungle inspiration seeping in here with the song Radio Video. This cocaine makes me feel like I'm on this song, which is a very, very funny song title to say, by the way. It's such a fast, thrashy banger. Violent Pornography has powerful lead hooks. Very catchy song, that one. The inclusion of acoustic strings in the song Question was such a good choice and makes the song hit even harder when it explodes into the riffs and energy. Sad Statue is shreddy and has such epic chorus melodies. I also really enjoy the addition of synths in the song Old School Hollywood. It helps that song to stand out. The thrashy guitars on it are so nasty and the lead vocals are brilliant. And then Lost in Hollywood is a much more subtle, slower, mellow moment to close out this album. And it does so on a reflective note, which I really appreciated. Such a strong quality of songs throughout. It has a shorter runtime than their previous albums, clocking in at 36 minutes, I think. But I think that's what I like about it. I like that it gets straight to the point and it has all of the fat already trimmed off this album. There is no wasted space, no filler. It's just wall to wall, cover to cover, brilliant music. And to be honest, like I say, none of their albums I have necessarily an issue with. I did have a lot of fun listening to all 5 of them. But again, this is just my subjective list of the System of a Down catalogue. You can rank their 5 albums in any order you like in the comments, and we can discuss what we liked and disliked further if you want. But that has been my list. Thank you for watching. And yeah, that's it. I guess I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.